life. Can you please stop teaching me things? Let me get myself together. Hey Internet bestie, welcome back to the channel. I honestly feel like I should start this video by saying Happy New Year because January was basically a trial month. I did not do any of the things that I said I wanted to do in January. And the worst part is I shared all of my goals publicly. So imagine the shame. But I've been stressed, y'all. I have been going through it. And ironically, it has nothing to do with this pregnancy. This pregnancy is going well. It's life. Life has been stressing me out. I've also figured out a lot of things along the way. And I figured we could turn this video into like a teachable moment. I can share what I've learned. And if you have gone through something similar or going through something similar, it could be a positive video for us to talk about versus sitting here and complaining, because you know I can do this all day and we don't want to gossip. If you keep up with me, then you know last year was one of those years that had a lot of changes in my life. I quit my job, I got married, I got pregnant. So things were looking good. But if you follow me on IG and here on YouTube as well, then you know things have been a little rough financially speaking. And as an influencer, I think it's important to share the high and the lows because there's so many people in this field and a lot of us don't actually know what it's like. It's not easy and a lot of influencers are not making it rain out here. So every other post on Instagram was me in tears, trying to figure things out. And after 6 months of struggling, I was like, okay, I gotta do something about that. I gotta figure out what the problem is. At first, I was very positive. I was strong in the mind. Finally had the opportunity to give my influencer business 100%. So I was really excited to dive right into it. And I did, but then things weren't working out. So I started questioning myself, my worth. Is it me? Is it my platform? Is it my natural hair? Is it my skin color? It really got to me mentally. And every other post on IG, it was me in shambles. I was complaining. And like I said, I think it's important to show the high and the lows, but I also understand that people come on social media to escape from their own problems. They don't want to hear about me stressing out every other post. And I get it. So as much as we want the real, we also want to be entertained. We want to get away from our problems. So I was like, okay, Jen, I got to figure this out. So in January, I sat down and decided to figure out different ways to make money, which is why I posted my January goal video where I shared everything that I wanted to work on, even though I didn't work on them. But you know, the goal was to create multiple stream of incomes, which I still think is very important, especially as influencers, because the reality is brand deals come and go. You can have a really good month and you can have a really bad month. And sometimes you really don't know where the next partnership is gonna come from. So it's very important for you to control your income as an influencer. I still believe in that. Not everyone in your circle is there to cheer you on. And it be the same ones that are in your face, laughing and smiling with you, that are actually blocking your blessings. Girl, it was a hard one for me to digest, but it's the reality. Not everyone wants to see you win. And I can be a very trusting person. I like to see the best out of people. I want to see the good in people. I believe there's good in people, but that's not always the case. And I feel like that's a lesson that I'm learning over and over as an adult, that it's not good to be too trusting right away. You gotta have a little reservation. You gotta check things out before you go all in, before you trust someone. Be careful who you do business with. Don't be too trusting in business, and it's very important to separate the personal relationship versus the business relationship. It's very important to do your due diligence to make sure that whoever you're going in business with is the person that you need on your team, is the right person, is the right fit. You gotta make sure that whatever decisions you're making it level-headed, not just from emotions. You gotta be able to separate the two. Business and emotion don't really go together, girl. Because there's a lot of people out here who can talk the talk, but can they walk the talk? Walk the walk, walk the talk? What's the saying? You know what I mean. They can talk big, but they can't deliver. But try not to rush into any type of decision, especially when it comes to being an influencer, scaling your business, right? There's a lot of things that we need to outsource because, you know, we're only one person. There's so much that we can do. And what's the saying? If you want to go slow, go alone. If you want to go far, have a team. I think you know what I'm trying to say. I think it's very important, obviously, to have a team, but it's also a delicate dance when it comes to outsourcing and hiring, etc. You may not be the problem. Oh, and I say this because let me tell you something. The way that I was so hard on myself over the past 6 months, thinking that I was the problem, automatically my first thing was, is it me? And obviously I believe in self-development. I believe in always improving. I believe in looking inwards when there is a problem to make sure that, hey, am I the drama? And I did that, but I feel like I did that a little too hard. You know that little voice inside our head, the conversations we have with ourselves? Oh, I was so harsh on Jen. And turns out Jen wasn't even the problem to begin with. And I've also realized that my self-confidence is very conditional. When things are going well, I'm grounded, I'm confident, I believe in myself. But in the second it's not going well, then I start doubting myself. Self-doubt takes the wheel, and I don't know where she be taking me. I started to blame myself, and I was like, there has to be something else I can do. There has to be something more I can do. It has to be me. What's wrong with me? Oh my God, I went in on myself, and looking back, I wish I gave myself grace. I wish I, stepped back a little bit and really evaluated everything versus just going in on me. So this is like one of the biggest lessons I feel like that I've learned, because self-care is so important, and how we talk to ourselves, it's huge. And we can be our biggest villain. We can be so mean to ourselves. And I know this in theory, but in practice, I went in on Jen. I'm sorry, girl. I have to apologize to self because, wow. Business is honestly a game of mindset. I'm learning this as I'm on this journey. Really, you got to be strong in the mind. And again, you can't put emotions and business in the same sentence. Just because it didn't work out does not mean it was the wrong move. I know this is huge in the Haitian community. If it doesn't work out, then it's a failure. You should never do it again. Obviously, that's not the right mindset when it comes to being in business, because there's a lot of risk and you're gonna fail over and over until you get it right. And me knowing that is why I took the time to really figure out what the issue was, because that's the best way for me to learn from it, for me to pivot, for me to do things differently. I need to know what went wrong so that I can do it differently. Even though I still wanna move in the same direction, but I can tweak things and do it a little bit differently. I grew up with a huge fear of failure, so it's definitely not easy for me. And it's also about redefining how we see failure and what we think failure is, right? Because a lot of the times, it's not failing. Failing is when it doesn't work out and you give up. As long as you don't give up and you just pivot and continue, then it's not failing. It's just a lesson learned. It's a little hiccup in the road. It happens all the time in business. If you listen to all the people that are successful, they will let you know. You just gotta fail fast, and keep going. I should have made some moves a lot earlier, but I'm gonna move things along now and continue. Especially with this pregnancy, I think that's why I kind of felt like I had a timeline. This baby's coming, and I wanted things to be in a different space, especially being pregnant and having baby on the way. I wanted to take some time off when I have the baby. I don't really know how all that's gonna work out, but we're gonna figure it out. Outsourcing is a very important part of business, and it's a skill. It's very important to know how to outsource and who to outsource things to. And sometimes you outsource something and you realize that's not actually what I needed. I need somebody else. And all of that is normal and natural when it comes to being an influencer or being in business. The last thing that I learned is that this industry is cutthroat. This influencer world, it's ugly. It's a beautiful thing, but at the same time, it can be really ugly. There's a lot of people in this space that are not healed and that are hurting other people along the way. You know what they say, hurt people hurt people. I've learned that there's a lot of discrimination happening in this space, and it's so unfortunate. It breaks my heart to even say that, because as a woman with 4C hair, I feel like there has been some sort of discrimination against me my entire life. And to still go through the same motions right now in my old age, it kills me. All of the issues that are in the Black community are the same issues that carried forward within the influencer space. You know, Black creators are underpaid. Black creators are being discriminated against. And although I know that, I hear it all the time, it was just so shocking to be faced with something like that and to experience it. And yeah, I don't know, it breaks my heart. And you know what's even more painful? Sometimes it's Black people that's doing the discrimination. It's not even the whites, it be your own people. Quickly want to pause the video to share this DM that I got from a subscriber. She walked her natural hair at work. It was a twist out, and a senior executive told her that her hair made her squirm because to her hair looked like a pile of worms. Can you believe that? That someone in a position of power will tell you something like that and tell you that you have to do something with your hair. And of course, you gotta be polite back and take it as a joke. and pretend that everything's okay. But if this is happening currently in the workforce, do you think it's not happening in the influencer space as well? Like I said, it's very important for us to heal so that we don't continue the same cycle. And you know, there's therapy for that, okay? Anyway, so this is what I've learned over the past 6 months. It's been a very hard 6 months for me. And let me tell you, I've been stressing so hard, but I'm so glad to be in a position now where I can look back, reflect, and I'm going to move on with this new information. And I've learned a lot over the past 6 months, and I'm grateful for the teachable moments that life is giving me. But at the same time, sometimes I feel like I'm tired of learning, okay? Like life. Can you please stop teaching me things? How many lessons do I need to learn? Is this gonna be a whole lifelong thing? I'm tired of learning. I'm tired. If you're an influencer trying to figure out this whole space on your own, I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Question of the day: what is a hard lesson that you've learned over the past 6 months? Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Your girl is back. I feel like I say this all the time. I'm back. But I just feel so much better. And actually today is a very good filming day because I'm whipping out a bunch of videos. I haven't talked to you most of January, so we're gonna do it over. Happy Black History Month, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.